Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to the Fangoria Movie Challenge. Now, this, of course, is the 101 movies from Fangoria that you should have seen. This is episode 3, or movie 3, and this time we picked Deathdream. Now, Deathdream is a 1972 film that runs about 88 minutes. It's also known as Dead of Night when it was released in 1974. And it was also called The Night Andy Came Home, which I actually think is a better title, but that's just me. Now, this was directed by the late, great Bob Clark, one of my favorite directors. Of course, he passed away on April 4th, 2007, at the age of 87. Actually, 67. At the age of 67, my fault. He directed one of my favorite horror movies of all time, the original Black Christmas, Porky's, and A Christmas Story. Everybody knows that story. You'll shoot your eye out. Now, this stars John Marley as Charles Brooks. Unfortunately, he passed away on May 22nd, 1984, at the age of 76. Now, he was in The Godfather, great movie. Love Story. Now, that's one that I don't particularly care for. You would think I would, but I don't. And one of my favorite Western musicals of all time, Cat Ballou. This also stars Lynn Carlin as Christine Brooks. She was in Superstition, another fantastic movie, Baxter, and a ton of TV. And finally, Richard Backus as Andy Brooks. He was in The First Deadly Sin, which also had Frank Sinatra in it. It's actually a pretty good movie. It's a slow burn, but it's a good movie. And tons of TV. Now, the budget on this, believe it or not, is $235,000. And the version, The Night Andy Came Home, has an extra line of dialogue that was muted by Warlock Home Video. What happened was, when this was originally released, it had an extra line of dialogue that said, Andy can't die, which was actually used in the film, but they muted it for Warlock Home Video. I thought it was Gorgon, but it was actually Warlock. Now, this has a very, very interesting premise, although it's a very simple premise. Andy, who is in the Vietnam War, is killed. The notice was given to his parents that he has died, but Andy comes back home. And when he comes back home, he starts to act a little strange. Now, he's killing people and using something from those people in order to prolong basically his body not decaying, which is something I actually overlooked the first couple times I watched it. Now, you can call this a slasher, vampire, zombie movie. This actually did make my top 20 for 2020 zombie movies, and it was in the lower half of 15. So I believe it was like maybe 17 or 18. I could be wrong about that. But I remember it definitely made it. But this could actually be classified as a slasher or a vampire movie as well. It's a fantastic movie. It was actually written by Alan Ormsby, who I'm going to mention again in a second. And it was Tom Savini's very first makeup job. The great Tom Savini. One of the things I love about this film, and about Bob Clark in general, is that his movies are so understated. And that a lot of people may think that's a bad thing, but it relies on story more than kills or gore or anything like that. You actually get invested in the story. And you're not really worried about, all the kills, because there are not that many kills in this movie. But like I said, the makeup does come in, the gore does come into the film, but it's more focused on the story that he's trying to tell, which he does get across very well. Now, this one I'm going to pair up with another Bob Clark film, and it's actually one of my favorites. And that is children shouldn't play with dead things. Now, I was talking with Joe the other day. Neither one of us had seen Deathdream in quite some time, but Joe's pick, of course, will be different. Um, as they will most of the time. We'll have a few of the same ones, maybe, but most of them will be different. But I was telling Joe that this is probably my third favorite film in the Bob Clark catalog. Of course, my favorite is Black Christmas, and I do love A Christmas Story. I know a lot of people think it's overplayed, but man, I do love Black Christmas. And then, like I said, A Christmas Story, and then probably Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things as a close third, and Deathdream as a close fourth. You know, he has a great catalog of films. Rest in peace, Bob Clark. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to check out Joe as he reviews Deathdream. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.